on Europe of the House Foreign Affairs Committee will come to order. The Chair would like to remind our guests today that demonstrations from the audience, including the use of signs and placards, as well as verbal outbursts, are a violation of the rules of the House. The purpose of this hearing is to shed light on anti-Semitism in Europe, especially the spike of anti-Semitism in the aftermath of the horrific Hamas terrorist attacks in Israel on October 7th. I would also like to welcome the gentlelady from North Carolina, Ms. Manning, who is joining us today. She will participate in today's hearing following all other members. I now recognize myself for an opening statement. Good afternoon, and thank you to our witnesses for testifying before the subcommittee today. Anti-Semitism is a scourge in Europe and around the world that we must tackle head-on. After the murder of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust, the world made a promise: never again. These words only have meaning if all of us are willing to act and stop evil. After years of rising anti-Semitism in Europe, we are seeing a terrifying surge in anti-Jewish hatred after Hamas's October 7th attack. In the 2 months since Hamas's massacre of over 1,200 men, women, and children, synagogues and other Jewish institutions have been burned. Jewish memorials vandalized. Jews attacked in their homes and on the street. This is not 1930s Germany. This is Europe in 2023. It is time to act on the words "never again," and time to act is right now. And while anti-Semitism is a problem across the European political spectrum, I am deeply concerned by how anti-Semitic activity has penetrated the mainstream of the political left in Europe. Anti-Semitism used to be relegated to the fringes of the far left and the far right, but now we have started to see anti-Semitic rhetoric come from prominent mainstream leftist figures in Europe, including some that are in their country's governing coalitions. Anti-Semitism is beginning to infect wider swaths of Europe's political left. If this trend is not reversed, it could lead to a dangerous normalization of anti-Semitism in European politics. Russia and Iran are fanning the flames of anti-Semitism in Europe. Dating back to the Soviet era, Russia has amplified anti-Semitic narratives in Europe to sow chaos and confusion and to distract the West from Russia's other malign behavior. When he served as special envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism during the Trump administration, one of our witnesses, Mr. Carr, correctly labeled Iran as the world's chief state sponsor of anti-Semitism. Iran promotes flagrant anti-Semitism in its public messaging and regularly provides a platform for European Holocaust deniers. Just like they are working together to destroy Ukraine, Russia and Iran are now working together to inflame anti-Semitism and to sow division. But anti-Semitism is not just a problem in Europe. Here at home, in our universities, anti-Semitism is rampant. Last week, 3 Ivy League presidents testified before Congress and refused to say that calling for the genocide of Jews is considered bullying or harassment. It is no wonder that Jewish students feel unsafe and threatened. Academia here in the United States and in Europe has a moral responsibility to make plain that they do not tolerate anti-Semitism. Unfortunately, what we are witnessing all too frequently is an abject failure of leadership in combating anti-Semitism at too many institutions. Regardless, it is my belief that we can work with our European allies to counter this threat and to protect Jewish communities. We must tackle this issue head-on and identify what needs to be done to combat and defeat anti-Semitism in Europe.